Alabama Florida League was there, and Hilton Fowler, the late Hilton Fowler, was a good baseball player, and of course, to go with being a good baseball player, a lot of good coaches came out of that group of people, and we're talking about Windley Wade Tatum, ladies and gentlemen, is gone to live with his maker, and I'll tell you this, he was and everything on Windley Wade did, he did it in a serious manner. I've had wonderful conversations with Windley Wade over the years. Now, let me tell you this. I buried my brother about less than a month ago in Charleston, South Carolina. His name was Bill Amos, and he was 12 years older than I was, but he and I had a great rapport. And one of the things we had in common we both loved Windley Wade Tatum. And in fact, Windley Wade Tatum was my older brother's best friend. I mean, they get on even in their 80s, they get on that phone, they'd stay on the phone an hour and a half sometimes. And they never got tired of talking about Troy or talking about growing up and
baseball.
Yeah. Back then, the cool thing would be drag racing, and they used to drag race. And it's one of you didn't have more accidents and all that, but Windley loved. My brother always said Windley had one of the best shifts in a car.
Yeah.
Where he went from second to third, and you didn't even realize it.
He could change the gears.
Another thing Windley Wade did. He roller skate down. He roller escaped down Pine Hill in roller skates. He went down Pine Hill in
Is that an urban legend, or did that really happen?
No, it must have. I've heard it too many times for it not to really happen. That he went down Pine Hill or Thrill Hill on roller skates.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys. I was sitting in my front yard.
That's like Columbus Patman really caught the duck.
And I saw
Tatum really roller skated down Thrill Hill.
I saw him do it. Windley Wade do it. I mean, no, I didn't see Windley Wade do it, but I saw some other people that claimed the fame.
You saw Columbus catch the duck.
Oh yeah, I saw him catch. I was just in the 5th grade, but I saw him catch the duck. You're right. Steve, I don't know. Here we go. Let's the phone. Pick it up and see if it works.
Well, has it been disconnected?
So it should be working. Just pick it up and see.
It's not ringing. Let's say I'll pick it up.
Pick it up and see. Is it got a?
Nope.
No phone right now.
I guess
so
Michael must be trying to call in from Grayton Beach. But I'm enjoying hearing some of these Windley Wade Tatum.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's healthcare to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
Back to our show, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy, where they've got another one of those huge sales coming up. It's the big Easter sale, and as we celebrate Easter, they're giving away all kinds of great benefits on buying a Ram truck today, or a Chrysler or Jeep. They've got some beautiful cars out there that can't wait to let you drive it. And right, so I'm gonna send you out there and drive one of those.
I need one pretty soon, and that's where I'll go.
I tell you what, they really do a great job, and they've always got a lot of inventory. You know, we talked about Wendell Wade Tatum. One thing that he and I had in common was we were both Yankee fans. We both liked the New York Yankees, and Mickey Mantle was our hero, and that's the same way that Wendell Wade did. He loved Mickey Mantle, and you saw him half the time. You saw him with a Yankee hat on. He wore it all the time.
Isn't that funny? There's a lot of Yankee fans in the South.
And you know, of course, you know, like I said, we were talking about the people that were alive and well during the heyday of Wendell Wade Tatum. You know, you can let's see, we got a call coming in. Let's see it. No, that's
it's working somehow.
Not yet. We'll pick it up in a minute.
Transferred it over.
And but you know, I can see Wendell Wade today. Out there throwing a baseball. When I was a kid, and he was in his heyday of baseball, man, there's nobody any more conditioned than Wendell Wade Tatum. And a lot of those guys are still out there. And, you know, if you want to pay homage to a great American, Wendell Wade was a great American. He didn't put up with anything. He did not put up with any foolishness whatsoever. You know, he was a serious-minded guy. But if you knew him, gosh, you loved him, and he had some ways about him that might have thought that he ran the world, but you know, maybe he did, or people like him, he did. But you know, he's one of the real bona fide Trojans when we lost Wendell Wade. Of course, you know, a lot of the people that he grew up with, you know, are gone now. But guys, there's still a lot of them out there. And
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone, so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Are you a driver trainee just finished in school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Right, Fuzzy? We have automatic trucks. That's right. And we will reimburse you for your driver training. No pets? Not at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we thought of everything. We thought of the killer for your fuzzy friend. Right, Fuzzy? Tell them about it. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Fuzzy.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Are you a driver trainee just finished in school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Right, Fuzzy? We have automatic trucks. That's right. And we will reimburse you for your driver training. No pets? Not at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we thought of everything. We thought of the kennel for your fuzzy friend. Right, Fuzzy? Tell them about it. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Fuzzy.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
Back to our show, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly on North 39th Street in Troy, and also in the the US 231 bypass in Troy, and of course Piggly Wiggly, one of the great grocery stores that still fresh vegetables galore. They'll cut you a steak.
Let's see.
It's a wonderful place to buy.
Milton Morgan.
Tell you why, man. It's hard to get into this show. You guys are popular.
That's right.
Well, Steve had to be like a NASA engineer to figure out how to get you through, but he did it. So
thanks for Steve Camp. We would still be
Houston,
off there.
we have a problem, but now we've corrected it.
Of course, Mike, we lost.
Were you ready to lead the game last night when Troy got down 4-0?
Well, let me tell you this. I watched the entire game up into 8th inning, then I started walking out. And, of course, Troy, let me tell you this. Troy had a guy last night that hit 3 home runs.
Man, we buried the lead.
The center. And, buddy, you know, I look at that center, and he is a powerful guy. Troy's
Not
center.
Catcher, isn't he?
Oh, my bad, catcher. The Troy catcher hit 3 home runs.
Did Troy win?
Yeah, they beat Jacksonville State 12-5, and in a good ball game. I had a great time.
Yeah, Caleb Bartolero.
That's right.
Had 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and 3 home runs. When was the last time a guy from Troy hit 3 home runs?
I want to say, and
I know Soto did it several times.
Well, I don't know, but they had a Walker guy one time. Is Jimmy Walker? But I remember that name. He played for Chase. He hit 3 home runs in a game one time.
It's rare. That's
and
awesome.
you know what he did? Not only did he hit 3 home runs in one game, he walked off with Miss Pamela Regis, Miss USA, and married her. So not only was he a good baseball player, he was able to
well, if you can hit 3 home runs in the game,
Miss America.
You can marry Miss America.
So Jimmy J.J. Walker, Dynamite.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, of course.
Well, we whipped. So you're saying we whipped Jack State.
12-5.
And we had a guy that hit 3 home runs. Yeah. So that's we should have talked about that as the opening.
And you know, and I'll tell you what, he popped it too. I tell you, he's a real player. You know, a catcher that can hit like that. He's got a shot.
Hershauser got the start. Justin Hershauser, who's Oral Hershauser's nephew, former Dodger great. He had a rough start. They only went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, struck out 2. Bay Welcher came in and pitched well. Heaton Fuller got the win. Heaton Fuller pitched really well. He pitched 2 innings, struck out 4.
I tell you, he's a good pitcher. Good pitcher.
So Troy sweeps the series against Jack State baseball this year, which is always good.
That's right. We beat them 2-2 up there, and then back down here. And I still have the same feeling I always had. I just don't like those folks, and I want to beat them. If it's in horseshoes, I want to beat them.
Well, I want to say we got a lead in the all-time series against Jack State in baseball, and they've got a great baseball tradition.
Yeah, that's right.
We got the lead in basketball, and that's actually surprising because they always had good basketball teams.
Right.
And I would say that we might have the lead in football, if only because once we went Division I, we kept playing them and probably had some wins.
Well, in football, back in the early days, before the 50s, they were much better than we were before the 50s. But after I would say from the late 50s on, it's even Steven pretty much, the records.
I just remember the 1980 season when Charles Henderson, Alabama, and Troy University were all undefeated late into the season together. That's all my three teams.
That
was a memorable season.
Yeah.
Well, it was Troy University lost its last 2 games, both real close. Could have won either one of them. To North Alabama, our big rival, and Jack State, our big rival.
Yeah.
Alabama, of course, lost to Mississippi State when Don Jacobs couldn't get in at the end of the game. But Charles Henderson never lost.
Yeah, that's right. But of course, it's Easter week, and everybody's preparing for visits from their loved ones on Easter. In fact, I was talking to my wife last night, and I said, you've cooked some good Easter dinners over the years, and she always prepared not only a great Easter dinner meal, but also a Christmas meal. But now we're never at home, it doesn't seem like, so she doesn't have to cook as much as she used to. But gosh, I can just sit back and remember all those great Easters, and I tell that joke. Maybe I shouldn't even tell it anymore, but I'm gonna have to tell it. I always, during the holidays, especially Easter, I always wanted to make it, they talk the Easter bunny and all that, and the Easter bunny's going to go ahead and hide the eggs out front, and you'll pick them up and have a good time. And I had a Sunday school class that we hid Easter eggs in Jerry Span's front yard. We'd walk down from the church and have an Easter egg hunt. And instead of instead of hiding the eggs, we hid what, Mike?
So eggs, you hid money?
No, Mike. Instead of eggs, we hid Hubba Bubba. And not only that means
you put the Hubba Bubba in the eggs.
That's right. Yeah. No. I hid the Hubba Buddy. It had different colors and all that, and I hid them out in his front yard, and they came and picked it up. Well, the mamas and daddies did not like that because they had kids with bubble gum all over their face and everything because I let them have bubble gum at Easter. But the story that I've got to tell, that I've told every year we've been on this show since 1998, was the day that the night that I felt real energetic. So I went out in the front and I hid the Easter eggs so that I wouldn't have to wake up the next morning bright and early to go out there and hide the eggs.
Good idea, yeah.
I went ahead and hid the eggs out front. It's on a Saturday night, and I thought I was being real smart and everything, so I hid them out. Well, the next day, Michael, Camille, my daughter, and his twin sister, and then Rebecca were actually Camille went out first to pick up the eggs on Sunday morning, and she went out and she looked, and then Michael went out and he looked and said, "Where's the eggs? Where are the eggs?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" I hit them last night before I went to bed. What are you talking about? Well, I looked around, and then I looked up the street, and I noticed there was a lot of multicolored eggs or parts of eggs up the street from me. I walked up there, and I found out, and this was a true statement, that their dog, had actually come down and picked up every egg and took it to their front yard, and that was a true thing.
Was it Larry and Ginger Dane's dog?
No, it wasn't Larry. It wasn't Larry. It was Dykema, I think. It was their dog. But hey, he went ahead and had his.
He found every egg.
But and I'm not talking about.
Can't imagine how sick that dog got.
Yeah, you know the thing about it. I'm talking about all of them. He didn't leave one, and then I'm having to go back and find some eggs and hide the eggs, and I forgot what we did.
Well, I guess you could just tell the kids that the dog got the Easter eggs.
I'm sure we weren't complaining.
But we've always hidden eggs, and Benny Beards and
they have the Easter egg hunt
had their Easter egg hunt. Did you take your kids to the Benny's Easter egg hunt?
My wife took the kids to Benny's Easter egg hunt.
I didn't realize that up until just this weekend that Benny they have hidden eggs in the Beard front yard, and of course that's a big front yard for many years. It's tradition. It's the First Methodist Church.
Perfect spot, scenic spot to do
That's
it.
Right.
And the kids loved it.
And
so
I know Benny enjoyed it too.
Thank you, Mr. Beard. And I bet Joan got that going.
I'm sure she did, and it was tradition, and I love traditional things like that. And,
we got more kids at our church all of a sudden. First United Methodist Church. I was talking to the Stones and about how we're getting more and more young people.
Oh yeah.
And then their children.
Yeah.
And that's at church this past Sunday at First United Methodist Church. It was full house.
Yeah, that's great. The only thing that I did not like about the First Methodist Church is that they change over with their pastors every 5 years, every 3 years.
Well, I hope we keep Steve.
I know, but what I'm saying, at one time it was automatic, and I'd say, "Gosh, I'm losing a good friend because their parents are moving out."
Well, they keep that.
I found the information y'all were looking for. The battle of the old school bell between Jacksonville State and Troy State. Of course, Troy Trojans now. School started their rivalry back playing Division II. The series continues until Troy made the move to FCS. Gamecocks moved to FCS soon later. The series came to a halt when Troy moved to the FBS in 2001. Jacksonville State does have the all-time winning record in football at 32, 29, and 2.
That's pretty close, though, isn't it? And most of their
Troy has a winning streak of 7 straight games from 1995 to 2000. They dominated Jacksonville State.
Larry Blakeney never lost to Jack State.
Well, Jack State was way up then, and we've just narrowed it with really
longest win streak is when Dad played at Troy from 1954 to 1966.
That's right.
Jacksonville State won 13 straight.
Troy did not have a very good football team back in those days, and that's where they really, if you take those out, Troy had a lot more of a winning record than Jack State has, But it was a big win last night, 12-5.
Well, we got them in baseball and basketball, and we're closing in on. I bet you, Bill. I love to make predictions. I bet you this series is resumed at some point. It's just too good a natural rivalry to sell too many tickets. So maybe Troy could get on a 3-game winning streak and tie this thing up.
Yeah.
And
Let me tell you this: some people want them to play them again, and some people are adamant that we never play them again. You know, they don't want to play them. You know.
Well,
I think Gailey and Rick Rhodes were good against Jack State from '83 to '87. Troy won 5 in a row.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well. Troy's had their way with them lately.
Great games at Jacksonville in 1984. Troy won 42 to 39.
Oh, that game, yeah. But you know, in that game, Bobby Godsey had to play quarterback because Mike Turk was out, and then the other backup was also out, and they played the young.
And then '86, Troy won 45 to 43 at Jack State. Those were 2.
Isn't that amazing?
What was the score in 1980?
1980. Jacksonville State beat Troy at Jacksonville 13-8.
That was one of those 2 losses. I said it was a close game.
Well, that was the game where we had the great quarterback that transferred.
Willie Tullis.
Willie Tullis, yeah, he was a great quarterback.
Well, that could have been Coach Bradshaw's. That was his best team, and it just the season ended on a downer. It's like. Texas, you know, Coach Bryant's last team at Texas A&M before he came to Alabama was really good. Yeah. And then Coach Bryant decided he was going to come to Alabama, and Texas A&M was number 1 in the country, but they lost like their last 2 or so games.
When Troy played Jacksonville State under Blakeney, Troy won 35-7, 31-21, 49-0, 31-7, 35-16. 21-3.
Isn't that amazing? Just beat them like a drum. Beat them like a drum. And I'll say that because they would be saying that same thing if they had beaten us, you know. And you know, that remains to be seen.
In the series, though, Troy's won 12-3 in the last 15 games.
Oh boy, that's dominating.
Since 1983, Troy's 12-3, but you got to realize they haven't played since 2000.
I bet they'll.
They played in 21 years.
Here's what's going to happen: it's going to become tougher for Troy to get these big-time payday games in the future. I'm talking about 5-10 years in the future. We've already got these games locked in contracts now, so we're okay.
Mike, I'd like for you to do something.
But in the future, you're going to want as many attractive games as you can get if you lose these games to like these Ole Miss games. And then Jack State would be a natural, or UAB.
You know, even the bands hate each other. Let me tell you this. I mean, there are 2 great bands now. Let me tell you this. I've heard it too many times, and I heard it recently. Jacksonville State has a 500-man band. They march over 500 people in their band.
Amazing.
That's one of the largest marching bands in the country. And the other one that is just as big too is another guy that's coming in our conference from Pennsylvania, Mike. That is the James Madison has a huge marching band too, and they're getting into our conference. But Jack State and Troy's band just never liked each other. Jack State would throw stuff at them, and they would play.
Their fight songs were the same.
And what they did that made Troy really mad was when Troy would come out on the field, their band would start playing Mickey Mouse. Dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum. Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. But you know.
Interesting. This series started with Jacksonville State football in 1924.
Yeah, that's right. And,
well, you had.
Then they played a game they played games in Jacksonville, Montgomery. They played games in Anniston. They played games in Pensacola. They played games all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think there were 4 normal schools in Alabama. Name them.
What, normal schools?
Yeah.
Well, Jacksonville State, Livingston State, Florence State, and Detroit State.
That's it.
Was Howard College a teacher?
No, they weren't a part of that. But
I think that was the 4 normal schools, which are teacher training schools, right?
Yeah.
And
that was a great conference.
It was Livingston, Troy, North Alabama, and Jackson State.
Yeah, and then you know,
North Alabama back then was called Florence State, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Florence State. Yeah. And
Troy was called Troy Normal.
At
one time.
But both of them now, Jacksonville State's still a 1AA program, but Jack State now, thanks to this conference realignment, they were able to get in that conference, and now they're 1A, Division 1A. So
just like Troy.
What I didn't want to see happen happened.
Jacksonville State won at Florida State this year too.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll beat you in football if you don't watch out now. They're pretty good. And,
well, their recruiting area is really good around that area. You know, you got the Huntsville market, you got Gaston. You can go into Georgia and get players.
Hey, Atlanta market. Let me tell you something. They're in the Atlanta market too. When I was in school there, Mike, several of our players were from Atlanta. You know, that was years ago though.
I mean, I'm just saying, they've got a lot of resources to recruit. I mean, Troy's got great resources as well.
They've got a bigger population base.
Oh yeah, a lot bigger.
Closer to them.
All right, let's look at Troy. You got the Dothan area, the Dothan Enterprise area now.
That's pretty good.
And then you've got you used to have the Phoenix City area, but we're not doing much there. But it is within 100 miles of Columbus, Georgia, who's probably got 10 Division One or Division or upper division high school teams in that area. But I don't know if they recruit as much as they did. But that's a pretty good recruiting area. And then Montgomery North, Wetumpka, Prattville area is a pretty good recruiting ground right there. And then if you want to go long ways, you could possibly bring in the Mobile area in recruiting. And then,
are we talking academic recruiting or football or both?
We're talking about football.
Oh,
and of course, everybody's going to get theirs and good players. And, Sanford will be finding a way to get into Division 1A before long if they keep politicking for it.
Well, Troy has the most beautiful campus. Now, I haven't spent much time on Jack State's campus. I mean, is it pretty?
Well, let me tell you this.
It's known because they have a library that's about 10 stories.
Yeah, they got a big, tall library. Yeah, do. And, they get Appalachian money. It's called an Appalachian Regional Grant, area that Jacksonville has reaped benefits from, where they get a lot of federal money there at Jack State. And it's a bigger school than Troy. Really, it's got more students than Troy has. On campus now, on campus.
Well, the Anniston area is the big town. And Anniston's got a lot of people, doesn't it?
Well, pretty much.
Kind of disappeared, though. Everybody from Anniston kind of moved to Oxford.
Yeah, see, Oxford is a growth area there. But you're right. At one time, Anniston, which was just 10 miles apart from
That's about as big as Dothan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Richard, Alabama picked up a huge transfer yesterday in the portal. They got the big offensive lineman out of Vanderbilt that everybody wanted.
He was an All-American. This guy was an All-American tackle, 6'5", 317, something like that.
Yeah, his name's Tyler Steen, 3-year starter at Vanderbilt. He lost 2 years to play at Alabama, but big pickup for the offensive line. That obviously means that some of these guys that are fighting right now for competition in the spring are not living up to the hype, and Alabama felt like they needed to bring this guy in.
Yeah, they like what they got, but they say they like what they've got, but they say they're young right now in the offensive line. And that's why getting him is going to help.
You got to have a left tackle to protect the quarterback's what?
You're right. Back.
Blindside.
Blindside, yeah.
There was a movie in the book with that title.
Yep.
And this guy will be the guy that protects Bryce Young's blindside.
That's right.
And that's why these left.
The movie in the book is actually based on a great Auburn tackle named Steve Wallace that played in the NFL for the 49ers for several years. And then Michael Orr. The movie The Blind Side, they actually watched video of him, how phenomenal Wallace was at Auburn and the 49ers.
Well, I read that book too. It's the guy that wrote The Big Short and some other economic books. And I guess the main point is that you're going to spend all of this money on your quarterback. In the NFL, all that matters is the quarterback, which is true.
Yeah.
You ain't doing jack unless you got a quarterback, probably.
Going
if you're going to have a quarterback, you better protect your investment, and that's protecting his blind side, so you better have a good left tackle, too.
While we were watching the Jacksonville State game, Charles Henderson was going up against Andalusia in a big area game, and I don't know how that game came out. Does anybody know?
Charles Henderson play Andalusia every week.
They played them last night in Troy. They played them last night in Troy.
I thought we said that Huner got a win, and we beat Andalusia.
We struck out 12, but now they're playing again, and I don't know how they did last night, but let me tell you this. I said, boy, I wish I had one of those hot dogs, and I wish I had one of those hamburgers. They make they're cooked so that baseball game, you want to eat supper with them because their food is so good.
That Charles Henderson baseball game?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good. It's really good.
The cheerleaders used to provide the labor at the concession stand. I've talked we've talked some about how I used to be the scorekeeper and went to every Charles Henderson baseball game. And probably one reason I wanted to go to those baseball games is because all the cheerleaders were right below me operating the concession stand.
Oh, gosh, you're right. And
Charles Henderson beat Andalusia on April the 7th, 3-1, and then they lost the next day away to Andalusia 8-4. And then Monday they played Strong of Andalusia.
Strong then, okay.
And Strong beat Charles Henderson 18-17.
18-17.
Boy, what a game!
Football score.
Man, oh man.
I guess Charles Henderson has no pitching.
Well, evidently they don't.
Well, maybe they got one pitcher.
Yeah, that hitter.
Charles Henderson right now is 5-16.
5-16, boy. I don't know what's happened to one of the premier 5A programs in the state of Alabama. I would have put Charles Henderson up with anybody over the years.
Charles Henderson will play at Greenville on Thursday. Greenville 16-6.
Yeah.
So they got a pretty good team.
It's very rarely though that Greenville could even compare with Charles Henderson in baseball. But Andalusia is a little different story. But Andalusia they're 5A now, and
they are.
Yeah, that was a big area game, I would say, last night. But no, Strong though. Yeah.
Strong in 5A?
No, they're not in 5A.
They're smaller school.
I'm thinking, but right now they're.
Well, it's cyclical, and it's just a function of the athletes and the number of baseball players you have. The Coach Smart just needs to.
Well,
there's probably some young people that are coming up in the pipeline.
Dad, I don't know if you ever drive the way I drive, but I go through Florala to the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, Florala back to Birmingham. That's the way we come to
Yeah.
Birmingham. And there's a little bitty town right over the line of Florala called Paxton.
Oh, I know it well. Great. Used to have great basketball teams.
They got all these baseball fields and all this stuff. Like in this little bitty town, I tell my wife, this must be a huge sporting town. And Charles Henderson played them on April the 2nd at home. And Paxton, which is a little bitty school, beat Charles Henderson 13-7.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, Coach Smart is not dodging anybody. I'll tell you that. And they'll be better. He's an outstanding young coach, and of course his dad's the former Troy baseball coach, and he is working with them too. So.
Well, you really can't do anything about it. Public school, you're kind of stuck with the kids you got.
That's right. You're right. You got to play with who brung you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, you can develop and develop and develop, and just hopefully, something will spark some of these kids to get better.
Yeah. Of course, did you hear what we were talking about in China? The COVID has.
They've shut down one whole city of 25 million people.
Exactly.
Locked it down as tight as it's like everybody that lives in that city is in their own jail. They won't let them out of their apartments.
That's right. It's unreal. And there was a sort of a documentary on a guy American that plays the drums, and he plays the drums. He get out on his balcony and plays the drums, and all these hundreds and thousands of of Chinese that were living in there were sitting out on their decks listening to this guy play the drums.
Yeah, the video I saw was just this collective wail of people at night, you know, crying out, saying that they're hungry or they want to get out of their apartment.
Yeah,
it was like a moan that went over this massive city.
Yeah. Just visualize.
I hadn't even seen this. This like made national coverage.
Yes, I mean it was real. I started talking about it yesterday a little bit, and this is the real deal. Could you picture that happening in America? I mean,
it's like something out of a science fiction or horror movie that you see a whole city with all. It's just nothing but skyscrapers, apartments, and there's not one person on the street.
Yeah. When I visited,
and then they're all stuck in their apartments, and you know they've been told, "Don't you go out." It's all straight out of George Orwell.
And you wonder what.
But they are going out onto their decks and they're screaming and hollering at their neighbors, and that's all they can do.
That's right. You know, at one time, you know, we visited China and
you went to the airport, didn't you? In Shanghai?
Yeah. Well, what?
I thought you said you went to the Shanghai airport, flew into.
Oh yeah, that's where I did. We did fly into that. Then that's been almost 10 years ago. But we really had a great time. But at that time, there were over 600 housing projects in China in one town. There was 600 townhouses,
apartment complexes,
or giant, multi-story, skyscraper type. 600 in downtown Shanghai. And that was, that's where...
to fill in the picture from what I've read...
We're talking about 30 stories or more.
They have like these robots and drones that are flying, and they've got recorded messages telling the people what to do and what not to do. And if you think about totalitarian horror stories or George Orwell dystopian nightmares, it seems like it's playing out right now. And it's all because China has this zero COVID policy. I mean, if they get a couple of cases in any province, they say the way that you block this virus is you don't let anybody out where they can infect any other person. And so they literally lock down a whole city. So nobody is working in Shanghai. I guess some people maybe can work from their house. So nothing is being produced in a large part of China, and we get a lot of our goods from China, like it or not.
But it'll give us an indication of what is out there in China compared to America, and there's not much freedom of speech in China, no question about it.
Well, there's no freedom whatsoever in other countries. I made the point yesterday that my mother-in-law, Liz Fryer, got a care package from a friend in Australia, and while looking at our great gifts, she made the comment, well, I tried to send her something, but I couldn't because they don't accept mail service in Australia. She said it had been years since anybody from another country had been able to mail anything to Australia.
Mike, I wanted to mention one more time about Wendell Wade Tatum. He was one of your Uncle Bill's best friends. It's amazing that they died 2 weeks apart, and we're.
He was a big walker at the Troy Sports Place.
Yeah, that's right. He was known for that, and he went out there almost every day. And when he walked fast. I mean, it was like almost a sprint. I mean, he would walk. You've seen that long stride, and of course, he's always wearing that Yankee hat, But we'll remember him well.
A lot of people use that track. Well, they use every part of that. That rec center was one of the best investments Troy ever did.
Wonderful. No
but the inside walking track, a lot of people use it.
Oh,
I know my dad used to use it.
Yeah, you're right.
The swimming pool, a lot of people use it.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Basketball court, same thing. playground.
That would have been great to have growing up when we were in Troy. We didn't have anything like that.
Well, and then they've got all kinds of weight equipment, free weights, and then
and they allow kids to go there during the summers. They have all kinds of programs that help parents, that are working. And kids for the day.
Yeah, my kids have used that before. It's good.
Exactly.
A little summer camp program.
I'll tell you this.
We used to run wild at Troy State University when I was a kid. On Crow Hill. We spent the majority of our time on skateboards or bikes, going to the Adams Center or somewhere, the natatorium. There was always cheerleading camps going on, band camps going on. There was always a lot going on at Troy back in the day. Thank goodness that was so close by.
I did the exact same thing with my buddies, and here's what I would do. I would take a tennis racket, and I'd play some tennis. Then I'd take a basketball, and there was a basketball court right near the handball court. I'd hit tennis balls against those handball courts. Then I'd shoot basketball. Then we'd go play some football in Memorial Stadium. And then we'd go mess around on the golf course and putt and chip on the putting green. So I would hit about 4 sports in 4 hours.
I'm gonna tell you.
When Troy had the bowling alley at Adams Center, I mean, we were there every weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Just dropped off our parents, and that's where we hung out.
They didn't have the bowling alley when I was a kid, but they had the game room in the Adams Center.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and all the couches upstairs.
You could, we could play, hang out there too. But you could play pool, you could play ping pong, you could play foosball.
I was always wondering where you boys were, Mike.
I'll tell you what, I'd apologize to whoever ran the Adams Center back then, because he had to do a bunch of with all of us up there all the time.
Ron Pierce ran it for a long time. I remember that.
Well,
it was probably Ron Pierce, but I'll say that. I mean, that's one great thing about growing up in a college town. I mean, for a small town, you had a lot to do as a kid, which is great.
A lot of facilities. The smartest thing that they ever did was have those metal chain nets. That was the smartest move ever, because you put a new net out there, and they'll go through that new net in 2 weeks.
We used to play every weekend at the Wesley Foundation too. They had a good board.
What we would do too is we would go to Sartain Hall. Heck, man, if you're going to play basketball, play at the best place. And it was locked up, but we figured out how you could get in. I mean, there was a little trick.
Through that window? Yeah.
Well, there was one little chain door that somebody could squeeze through that was skinny, and then they could go unlock the door for you. And we would have great 3-on-3 or pickup games at Sartain Hall all to ourselves.
Well, let me tell you this. Me growing up, I didn't have a lot of money, or didn't have any money, maybe other than enough to buy some a Coca-Cola or a candy bar or dill pickle or whatever. But I knew exactly where the holes were at Memorial Stadium. I could tell you where you could crawl up underneath the fence and see the ball game. Well, I did that a lot. Me and my friends did, and the same way in basketball. And the AD started calling me Mike A. Mousy, the chief gate crasher. The AD there would call me the chief gate crasher. And it was just me and my friends didn't have the money to pay to get in.
Well, you have paid your money. You have paid your money back many times.
Oh yeah, maybe I have. And I'm confessing. But we had
those were the days. Yeah. I mean, the 9-hole course at Trojan Oaks. Then you played tennis. Yeah. You played handball. You played basketball. What am I missing? The natatorium. You could go swimming.
And the thing about it, I think that's why I know so many Troy people like I do now. A lot of them are fading away, and God bless them all. But there's still a few of them are still out there. But by being out there around them, I knew all the baseball players and that played for Troy, and the basketball players, knew all of them, and still they're good friends of mine, all three. I was friends with them in the 7th grade, and I was friends with them. 40 years later.
you would
made some real friends.
You would just join up, and you would play football, you know.
Talked to a guy named Frank Miller yesterday on the phone. Frank Miller that played here. It was one of the all-time greats back in the 50s and 60s.
When I was bored as a kid, I'd take 2 socks and just walk down Crow Hill and hit the golf course to start finding golf balls. I did that about once or twice a week.
I used to do that too, yeah.
Well, let me tell you this: he did play fair. Now, you know, I'd give me a sock, and he'd have him a sock.
I could get to the creek.
Then we competed now on who got the first the most golf balls, and but see what he'd do, he'd walk out there in the mud, and he'd feel the golf balls with his feet. And I wasn't about to do that.
I bet you found a lot of my golf balls.
But I did tell him one thing. I think I saw a snake. I got him out of there that way.
There must have been a lot of horrible golfers in Troy, because man, on that little bitty course, I found a lot of golf balls.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of golf balls.
Oh, that's where I played. You know, I played a lot at Troy Country Club too, but plenty at Trojan Oaks, and I can tell you the holes. I mean, that creek, you could hit it, but I mean, you would hit it. The next hole from number 2 was a dogleg right, and so you're always slicing it into those woods.
Yeah.
Then you would get to the hole over there by the football practice field. You would slice it into those woods.
Yeah.
Lots of places you could lose balls.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, my experience there. I used to could hit a 2-iron further than I could hit a driver, and. I mean, I could hit a golf ball, but it was because I was out there a lot. But one great thing about it, you could play 7 holes, and on the 8th hole, you had the WTBF. WTBF was located.
You go get a water?
And you walk in there and get a Coca-Cola. You know, it was ice cold Coca-Cola, and then we go on and play the rest of our round. But do you remember
I'm gonna tell you a story.
WTBF radio was sitting right there.
They fixed up that college course at some point, so it wasn't near as nice as it became later on.
Yeah, you're
Mike
right.
Griffin fixed it up, I think.
Yeah, they got.
But before he got there, and it was kind of a pasture. Well, I'd started playing a lot of golf in Opelika, and we came over to visit the grandparents in Troy, and my mom also played golf for several years. And she said, well, let's go out and play at Trojan Oaks. It was a summer day, Mike.
Hot, yeah.
And we walked.
Yeah.
And it was not a good idea. We were both about exhausted, and that was a lifesaver for my mom and me going to WTBF and getting some water or Coke.
Yeah, I always had those ice cold Cokes. And you know, one
thing about that course, they had all those beautiful oak trees you could get under in the shade.
Yeah.
A lot of those fell during Oakland. Remember how many of those beautiful trees fell?
But and I'll tell you about it too. Now you had to hit. Remember, you got to hit over to the radio station, and then you had to hit back. So you had those two long holes where you had
that par 3, and then you had to go over the water.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
par 3 they've still maintained. It's still pretty much there.
It's some great memories, ladies and gentlemen.
I was playing with
Troy.
Charles Bradshaw and my brother Rush on that par 3, and Rush hit a hole-in-one. That's the only person I've ever seen hit a hole-in-one.
Who did?
My brother Rush
Did
hit a
he
hole-in-one.
really? Okay, and he still plays at the Montgomery Country Club, doesn't he?
You know, he did. Unfortunately for Rush, he was hitting the ball into the setting sun.
Yeah.
In the glare, he couldn't see it. I saw it hit the green. I don't think I saw it go in the hole, but it was tracking towards the hole. And then when I finally could see, I said, well, there's no ball on the green. And I used a little logic. I said, that ball hit perfectly on the green, and it was going right towards the hole. I see no golf ball on that green. I said, Rush, I think you just hit a hole-in-one. And we rode the cart down there, and I jumped out of the cart first and looked in the hole, and I said, what ball are you playing? And it was his ball.
That's right. And you remember how every ball
when was that course built, Dad?
Oh, a long time ago, Mike. I'll tell you,
the 60s, when you were in college, was it there?
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, it was there. We had courses.
Didn't Kern Farmer probably build it or help maintain it?
I think he probably did. But I'll tell you this: one of the holes was you'd hit it over the road now, which had cars going over the road. You wonder how somebody could have gotten killed, somebody hitting somebody with a golf ball driving down that road, you know. but that you had to hit it over the road. You remember that?
Vaguely. That was the first.
Yeah, and then later on they got some government money and they redid the golf
I think
course.
it's neat how we don't have a golf course, but that's too valuable real estate to really have a 9-hole golf course on, and they're going to probably keep developing other parts of it. But there's a couple of golf holes out there to this day, and they're a great practice facility.
Well, let me tell you this: a guy I saw yesterday, and he's a friend of mine, but he drove all the way up from Fort Walden. He and a friend of his to watch practice, football practice, which. You know, they've been practicing in the mornings, about 8 o'clock every morning, or every other morning. And so we started talking. I said, well, what are y'all fit to do? You want to go to lunch? And he said, no, we want to play golf, but we don't know where we can go. Well, I said, follow me. And I drove them to my place, and or the Troy Country Club, and they had a ball playing golf.
You got them on Troy Country Club?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You can pay a green fee and get on, you know.
If you go with a member?
Pay you, not even that. I would think that if there's somebody in Troy that wanted to play golf.
You can go to Brundage Country Club.
Well, and I think Troy Country Club would be receptive, too. And that wouldn't be on a Saturday or Sunday, but like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
I would do. I mean, that's money you're leaving on the table if you don't take it.
At one time.
I mean, I have not played Troy Country Club. I used to play it all the time when I was a kid. I used to play those scrambles all the time growing up. But that number 2, where the big the big oak tree up the hill, that's like one of my favorite holes of all time.
Yeah, but
is it still a par 5, or they changed that to a par 4?
All right. It's the number
2 is now 11. They flipped the sides, didn't they?
Number 10 it used to be number 1. Well, number 10 you would is a par 5, and then number
10. So now the par 5 is now number 11.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not a par 5 anymore. It's par 4.
They changed it to a par 4.
Yeah, rightfully so, because people could drive the green easily in 2 and then be putting for eagle, you know, so forth.
Yeah, it does need to be a par 4 now you think about it.
I remember that beautiful old oak tree, though. It was a beautiful oak tree.
That's what you kind of aim for, to the little right of that. And
you know, people, Will and different people talk about golfers. Well, I tell you, a lot of good golfers have come through Troy over the years, and a lot of them have settled here, you know, like Colin and...
they came in from all.
Joey,
I'm going to tell you something. I don't remember in my era hardly anybody playing golf. Juniors, we were all playing baseball, I guess.
Yeah.
But Charles Bradshaw and I played golf, but we were the only people our age that regularly played golf.
That's right.
We weren't that good, but we played it.
And it's the greatest game known to man, I think.
But then here's what happens, though. People did not play golf. It's probably maybe because we didn't have a pro that had a good junior program, too. But
that's right.
But somehow good golfers develop. They pick up the game later in life.
Yeah, exactly. You take somewhere like Greenville. Greenville is known everywhere for having great young golfers. Brundage the same way. Mm-hmm. They a bunch of them. Mr. Caldwell there in Brundage established all those great Ronnie Mobleys and Bill Hamricks.
Well, it would be interesting to see what would happen if I stayed in Opelika, because my parents somehow had us a membership at Salgahatchee Country Club when I was a little kid in Opelika. And that's where we would spend the summer. Yeah. My mom would go, and she played golf too, but she would just let us off in the morning, and we were either swimming or playing golf at Salgahatchee. But it had a big-time junior program.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of kids in Opelika, the little kids, playing golf.
And if you wanted,
and then I moved to Troy, and it was, well, I can tell you, I played, Charles played. I can a couple of times remember Ken Cox Jr. playing out there. Maybe Sam Johnson once in a while. You'd see him out there.
But it
wasn't many.
Yeah. And you know, it's a great place to go and you know play golf if your membership is available. And
then you would swim.
Good
and
place.
Then, That was fun too.
Well,
I mean,
you know,
I mean,
most
like
all
Lewis,
these places, all you had to do was say, charge it, charge it, charge it. And that's what Michael used to do all the time. Charge it, charge it, charge it. Isn't that right?
Used to do that at Bird's Drugs a lot too.
Yeah, you're right.
My mom says that she didn't pay for anything until she was married.
Yeah.
In Troy, every place she went in Troy, she just charged it her mom and dad.
I think that's why I like casinos so much. A lot of times I get comped at restaurants and different things. It reminds me of when I was a little kid.
Oh boy, yeah, exactly. We hope that you're enjoying our show. We'll be back in just a moment.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Are you a driver trainee just finishing school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Right, Fuzzy? We have automatic trucks. That's right. And we will reimburse you for your driver training. No pets? Not at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we thought of everything. We thought of the kennel for your fuzzy friend. Right, Fuzzy? Tell them about it. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Fuzzy.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The transfer portal.
Well, you know, they're saying now they might get that.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Max, and of course, located on the bypass right here in Troy. And I tell you, a great place to bank is at Max Federal Credit Union. I want to mention also another friend that I want to say was a good classmate of mine is passed away, Jennifer Harris. Her name was Jennifer Harris Mcdowell, and she was a long-time teacher down in the Fort Walton area, but she was living in Freeport, Louisiana at the time of her death. And great people, the Harrises. They lived out on the what we used to call the shoot. I'm having a little
senior moment.
Yeah, a little senior moment. We call it Gibsonville, the Shellhorn Road. The Harrises lived on the Shellhorn Road, and well-established family over the years, and just started to hear about Jennifer.
Mm-hmm. That was a good place to.
Harris. And of course, also we mentioned Lamar Falk, one of the great boppers of all time, growing up in Troy, and he's of course a few years ahead of me, but he was a great athlete. He lettered in 4 sports. One of the first people that I've could remember. And he was either your dad's age, or a year apart.
He was 82. Yeah, he was been about my dad's age.
Yeah, that's right. And Lamar Falk was a great athlete and a good guy.
Oh well.
One of the top quarterbacks in the 2023 class out of Briarwood Christian in Birmingham, Christopher Bazzini, has committed to Clemson. So Dabo Sweeney and his Alabama and Birmingham roots comes in and gets a great quarterback out of Briarwood Christian. He's ESPN's top ESPN's number 79 prospect overall.
This is not the portal though, is it?
No, this is a high school quarterback, Briarwood Christian.
They say that Alabama is racking up in the portal, Mike. They had 4 other signees other than the one you mentioned today.
But Clemson got the quarterback from Briarwood Christian, Christopher Vizzini. His other the top candidates that Clemson beat out were Auburn, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Ole Miss. So this guy is a 4-star quarterback, top quarterback coming out of the state of Alabama.
Yeah, out of Briarwood Christian. Of course,
Briarwood Christian, for anybody that's where Coach Yancey coached. Coach Craddock
was
the quarterback of Briarwood Christian, Troy's new offensive coordinator, and then all the Castilles.
Yes, sir.
All the Castilles played at Briarwood Christian.
They sure did, and that's where Al Breschel's kids went to school. My friend from Troy, and his son was one of the top high school baseball players in Alabama.
Mike, I think if you look in there,
it's located on 119. Is where their high school is.
Mike, if you look at yesterday on the internet, they had Alabama's 4 of the top players they've got through protocol.
The transfer portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 4, and I think they're all going to start. That's what you got a wide receiver from Georgia, you have a defensive back, cornerback from LSU. You have an offensive tackle from Vanderbilt, and you have a running back from Georgia Tech. That's
right.
I think they're all excellent prospects.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're saying that Louisville had a receiver that got in the transfer portal yesterday named Harold, that Alabama is his top choice as well. So they could bring in another wide receiver. This guy runs a 4.2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Another Jameson Williams.
They need that kind of speed.
Coach Saban made a point. He was the one that said this unlimited transfers is going to be a bane on the sport of college football.
I think it is.
He fought it. Remember when an Alabama defensive back, after spring training, suddenly said, I want to transfer, and not only did he want to transfer, he wanted to transfer to Georgia, an SEC team, which doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach Saban wouldn't have cared if he went somewhere outside the SEC.
Right, yeah.
Well, he followed it, and then Coach Saban was portrayed as the bad guy in the national media and beat up. But he said it at the time, he said, well, you be careful what you wish for, because, I mean, if you're going to have this unlimited transfer, Alabama's probably going to do better.
I want to say Alabama.
The guy's name was Maurice Smith, and the reason he wanted to go to Georgia is because he played for Kirby at Alabama. When Kirby got the Georgia job, he wanted to go play for him at Georgia.
One of these guys also had a brother that was playing at somewhere else, and was trying to decide on going to Alabama. And
the same guy, the offensive lineman from Vandy's brother, played at Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia.
I'm going to tell you one story that I'm going to put a bug in everybody's ear about the possibility of how this could be used. I think it was Max that told us, or maybe Will, that when Notre Dame's coach quit and went to LSU, somebody said that all the remaining Notre Dame players went to the president of the university and said, listen, if you don't hire this guy we won't, we're all transferring.
Yeah, that's right.
So what do you do if you're the president of the university or the athletic director? You're going to lose your whole football team if you don't hire who the players want.
Exactly.
And they could have done it. They could have all transferred. They could have all gone to the great schools. So the leverage is all with the players suddenly.
Yeah. I tell you, it's amazing. No question who the most powerful member of a university is the head football coach. It looks like to me.
Well, it might be the players now. You get Barack Obama was a community organizer. You get one athlete organizer that tells his peers that, hey, we can dictate to the board of trustees and the president and the coach what we want because we can take our ball literally and leave.
Yeah. Steve Flowers has got a good article in the Messenger this week. It's the Governor Bob James story, and so and of course you're looking back over the life of Bob James, and it tells about him playing against Alabama.
Going against the Bees. Read them out.
Yeah,
Albert Brewer, Bill Baxley.
That's right.
And Jerry Beasley.
That's right.
Brewer, Baxley, and Beasley.
That's right. The three Bs, and while they were fighting,
the outside man that nobody gave a chance to was Bob James.
Yeah. A man that financed his own campaign, and also listen to this. He was governor 2 terms. There were 2 separate terms. Is that right?
Yeah, he didn't not back to back.
He never charged the state of Alabama a cent. All of those salaries went back into the pauper.
He did one great thing. He got the all these offshore drilling that you see, these oil rigs out off the beach. You might see them in Panama City, or used to probably. Not Panama City's in Florida, but in Gulf Shores and Fort Morgan.
Yeah.
He said that we're going to take that money and put it in a trust, and we're just going to spend the interest. And it's been a huge revenue stream for the state of Alabama ever since. Yeah. And that was Bob James.
Well, check me if I'm wrong about this. At one time, there are 2 months out of the year that have 3 pay periods. Did you know that have 3 pay periods? Okay. Well, before Bob James came in there, they just ignored those other 2 pay periods, and you just but he changed that, and now which that's happened pretty good a long time ago, but now you have 26 pay periods instead of
yeah, I see. It's been every
instead of 24, yeah. 26 instead of 24 pay periods.
You were a state employee. Did you like that?
It gave everybody a raise. If you think about it, you weren't getting paid for those 2 weeks at that time. So that's the way it was, and you're being paid. Made a big support of
I was
state
watching
employees.
Fox News last night. I don't watch the news much, but I was watching last night, and the big story is inflation, which is, the pundits tell us is at 40-year highs. I say it's at 100-year highs. But somebody said that because of the inflation at the grocery store, utilities, everything you buy has gone up, especially gas. You know what the average family is spending more per year now than last year? $5,200 is like a tax of $5,200 that people didn't have.
Boy, that I keep hearing about businesses. They're reaping they're still gathering. If you own a business, a fairly large business, you can go back and they're getting all kinds of federal money.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, but we're talking about even some of the small industries in our state.
The ones that know how to do it. They deserved it for the COVID stuff because they shut businesses down, and I don't know how you can shut a business down without compensating them for losing all that income. But some of them got compensation, but not all of them, I bet.
Yeah, but it's good at least to know that somebody's getting it, and locally, But it was a good article.
Great weekend coming up in baseball. Troy will host South Alabama on Friday.
No, Michael, they're gonna play. Michael,
I think that's gonna be on Thursday.
They're gonna play on Thursday.
April 14th, 15th, and 16th. So they won't play on Easter Sunday.
All right,
Friday and Saturday you'll have baseball.
And for the first 200 people, you know what the first 200 people get? Crawfish. If you eat crawfish, and some of my friends love it. Love crawfish. But if you love crawfish,
Steve Camping, there's Mr. Crawfish.
I know he is. He's Mr. Crawfish. You're right.
People that eat it love it.
Crawfish on Facebook. I thought.
You know, and I tell you what, Steve will cook most anything for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're hearing this right now, Steve Camp can give you the best ribs you've ever eaten, and just put in an order. And now we've got a cake sale coming in here tomorrow.
Thank you for mentioning that. Big cake and pie sale tomorrow. There's benefits education group.
So a great way to get a.
My wife is making homemade cookies tonight.
What time is that? The whole show tomorrow?
Probably
it'll be the whole show tomorrow, pretty much. Yeah, we'll need the whole show.
You can probably take a break.
Yeah, but we always.
I forgot Steve's name is Crawdaddy Camp.
Yeah, Steve Crawdaddy Camp. Is that right, Steve?
Anyway, people that are looking for treats and Easter meals, this opportunity to get you a good.
What are they doing casseroles and stuff like that too?
No, they're doing cakes and pies.
Yeah,
and
well, we'll do a casserole if they want to.
They need to advertise on social media today, Facebook, Instagram.
Well,
to help people realize they need to call in tomorrow.
Yeah,
good idea. Y'all know the tricks of the trade. I mean,
a lot of these are First Methodist women. Is that right?
It's organized by a lady that's a leader in our church, but it's for the professional. It's the POE or something.
Yeah. You know, I need to start bringing some of these.
Dad, try to find me a carrot cake. I like a carrot cake.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I want a red velvet
Italian
cake,
cream too.
chocolate cake.
I love Italian cream.
I like a pecan pie.
I love Mrs. Mrs. Lee's cakes, whatever she bakes, and of course there's always Italian cream.
My mother-in-law makes a world-class chocolate pecan pie.
Ooh.
Out of this world.
Yeah, I know it.
Chocolate pecan pie or cake?
No, chocolate pecan pie.
Well, do you think I'll be able to find something to eat in Grayton Beach?
Yeah, I'll have things to eat.
Well, what can I look forward to?
I don't know. I mean, we're doing beef tenderloin.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, God, that is one of my favorite things in the world.
My mother-in-law must have good connections with a butcher at the Mountain Brook Pig. Because I will say this: when she brings steak and beef tenderloin and burgers and all this other stuff down from Birmingham, it's so much better. It's so much better than what we can buy at the beach.
Yeah.
Well, she knows some place. You know, there are these places that specialize in meats, and she knows the place up there.
Yeah, I mean they'll cut the fillets and the tenderloins and all that, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's not much better than beef tenderloin.
You know what? One of those places in Montgomery is Dirk's Filet and Vine. Yeah. I took Mike, and it's a good restaurant, but it's also a little store, and they specialize in meats. And so you could get, they'll season it for you and cut it like you want it. And
sure is. Mike, looking forward to seeing all you now.
Yeah, we'll do an Easter egg hunt with the girls out in the yard.
That'll be fun. And
I'll tell you what, we did one with the church, Point Washington Methodist Church had a huge Easter egg hunt. It was open to everybody, the public, and they had my little one with the 4 and 1 year old. Millie.
Yeah.
You know how big.
I bet she found more than anybody.
So Millie just dominated. But then I had little Mary Prater, who's like 5, with the kindergarten to second graders. There's probably like 100 kids running to get Easter eggs. Bless her heart, she didn't get one.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh man.
I had one that dominated finding Easter eggs, and then one I had to literally go find.
Well, that's the way it is. Now, you know what? It reminds me of Camille Amos and Michael Amos. Camille was so much quicker than you were.
Well, the little kids, man, they're like just like throwing kids on the ground.
I bet you that was something to see. Are they?
Crazy.
Now, Mike, you've sort of turned toward the Methodist Church. You like the church there?
Well, I mean, that's where our 2 girls have gone to preschool since we've been here, and my wife has a lot of friends there. So, I mean, we're Pittsburgh.
All right, here we go. Cake sale. We got to go, Mike. Cake sale tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, this show is brought to you by Premier, Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Nobody beats the Premier deal. Nobody. And, of course, cake sale tomorrow morning starting at 7. It's going to be fun. See you then. Yeah, you going to come in?
I'll be there. Well, I know this lady.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you were out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Are you a driver trainee just finished in school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders